Fiancé 29M, is not interested in being intimate with me, 24F, after I give birth to our child. He says that he just can't see me the same. Apparently now that I became a mother his view of me completely changed. Is this some Madonna, complex psychology thing or what? It's been taking a serious toll on my mental health and I can't even talk about it or share it with my friends or family, mother, sisters, cousins, because it's genuinely humiliating. I also know it's something they didn't experience, and they'd probably tell me to just leave him, which isn't what I want. I love him. Our wedding is scheduled soon and settled for, and our child is 6 months old. Yeah, we went through 6 months without having sex, as if having a child for the first time isn't exhausting as it is. I know this isn't something usual. Men don't just lose interest in their partners after they give birth. Obviously it's some psychological thing for my fiancé here. And I know what you might be thinking, that perhaps it's on me and I haven't took care of myself after pregnancy and neglected my appearance, but that's not the case at all. I got back to the weight I was at before giving birth very fast. I take care of myself and how I look daily. Hair done, nails done, dress nice. To add, everything else between us is the same. We have smooth conversations. He gives me compliments, kisses me, treats me well, just refuses to being intimate with me. It's like he's holding me on a pedestal and can't acknowledge that I'm a sexual being anymore just because I became a mother. I'm looking for a way to solve the problem. It's causing a dilemma in our relationship and I can't imagine spending a lifetime sexually repressed. Counseling is a must. We've already talked about it and are going to go through it. I just can't help but believe I need to do something else prior to that. And I'm honestly thinking that an open relationship where we'd both see other people for a while might drastically help us. It would for sure shatter the false illusion he has of me in his head. Any advice would be appreciated, and I'd also really like to know if there's anyone out here who experienced something similar. It has nothing to do with how you look. Opening your relationship is a terrible idea. If you are going to do that, you might as well leave him, because if he's not sexually attracted to you now, he will only find someone else to give his affection to and replace you with. You would only be adding to your relationship issues and wouldn't be solving anything. Marriage is not a good idea. At least not until you get into counseling and work on things. Marriage only amplifies issues. It solves nothing. It also makes it a lot more difficult to leave if you figure out things won't improve. Here's what you don't do. Marry him. Push back the wedding. This needs to be fixed or you need to move on. Yes. It's some sort of Madonna complex or he's found someone else since you went 6 months without sex. Or both. This thread is so bizarre. I get what you're trying to spin, op. But after reading all of this, it really looks like he got an offspring and is no longer interested in you as a partner. At some point you have to realize this. Literally everything about who we are is in our head, and in his head you're not his partner but his offspring's mother. The fact that you're okay with having a whole other sexual relationship is also quite telling that on some level even you know there is no coming back from this for the two of you. You shouldn't marry him for a start. Try and work this out first, but absolutely do not make it legal with him whilst your relationship is in a shambles. I think it's a little unfair to say that this is uncommon. Actually, this is more common than you think. But the short story is couples counseling is a solution. Because your husband has turned intimacy into a him thing and not a we thing. My boyfriend 32M cheated on me 26F last night. What do I do? Before my boyfriend, I was talking to 2 other guys and ended up sleeping with both of them after meeting my, now, boyfriend one time. We met, I thought he was nice but was still exploring my other options because I was single and we were not exclusive. We had only met one time by the time I decided to sleep with the other guys. Then, after a few more dates, I decided to cut off the other guys that I was talking to and got closer to my boyfriend. We eventually made it official and I told him a few months later about the 2 guys. Ever since I told him that I fucked 2 guys while he was talking to me, he's been really hurt and has felt betrayed. Last night he went to the club with his friends and got drunk. He ended up going back to his friend's house and fell asleep on a mattress. After a while, a girl was on top of him and trying to get him aroused. He tried to push her off and he claimed that he pinned him down. Mind you, my boyfriend is very strong and has actually pushed me across the bed before. He eventually admitted that he did want her to continue and that's why he did not push her off completely. He did try to dodge her kisses but he did let her touch his dick 2 times. After her trying to get on him 3 times, he finally told her that he was uncomfortable and he left his friend's place. I'm conflicted and he instantly regrets this event. He keeps mentioning what I did and states that he wasn't in the right mind when he did that. He claimed that he was drowsy and was just thinking about what I did to him, so that's why he continued his actions from last night. He mentioned the event lasted less than 20 minutes and that he ended up getting up and going home. Should I forgive him, take a break, or break up with him? Edit. They did not have sex BTW. Edit 2. Sorry everyone worried my original paragraph deleted, but I ended up writing it again to clarify any confusions. So he's saying he was incapacitated and overpowered and assaulted? But also he liked it and he did it to get back at you and he immediately got up and went home, suddenly sober? Dump him. I'm really confused. The way he's phrasing it sounds like he was sexually assaulted? IDK, this sounds more like he was sexual assaulted to me. I don't understand what the beginning bit is about. If you weren't dating anyone, who cares that you talked to people and hooked up with people? That's what single people do. Talking isn't dating and a 32-year-old man should know that. Your boyfriend has pushed you across a bed? Were you like, wrestling? Why would a man do that? Your boyfriend should never push you. So, he not only cheated on you, but he's trying to somehow blame you for his cheating? What? This guy sounds like absolute garbage. Even without the cheating, you should have broken up with him yesterday. If you love yourself, please, leave him and block him. Why is he trying to blame this on you? It's not even remotely your fault. This part of the story makes no sense to me. Am I, 38 male, being mentally abused by my friend, 52 female? Or am I just mentally ill, like she suggests? I think I, 38 male, am being mentally abused by a friend, 52 female. She has said some bizarre things, most of which she never said. You care more about your mental health than you do me. That just goes to show what kind of person you are. I don't want you to go to therapy, they will blame everything on me. I'm jealous of your friend, you go shopping and out to eat and that is our thing. If you want to be my friend you have to text me all day, every day and see me multiple times a week. You made me feel like absolute garbage, like disposable disgusting trash. I went to lunch with a friend and didn't text her before. Whenever I try to talk to her about how her behavior negatively affects me, she always says things like, "Oh, and you're such a good person. What about all the good things I've done for you? I was there when." Often she is just joking, or I've misinterpreted what she said. How you can misinterpret someone calling you mentally ill, crazy, deranged multiple times a week, IDK. I have always had to beg for an apology. She told me that I have no self-esteem and said she is allowed to say it. She also told me I'm a bad person for falling asleep after texting her and that she is entitled to me time. And I should be available to her 24/7 inches. She keeps tabs on me whenever I go. She gets mad when I spend time with other friends and even my family. Told me, nobody will care about you like I do. While yes, we have fun sometimes, but recently we fight 2-4 times a week. Some arguments last even days. But it's basically her not owing up to her behavior. She used force to keep me from leaving during an argument on more than one occasion. During an argument, I asked her to leave my apartment 40-50 times. She refused. I threatened to call the police, she refused. I told her I was leaving, she blocked the door. This argument was one of the most heated arguments I have ever been in. I was about to kill myself from the gaslighting that was happening during the convo, but ended up calling 911. I was sweating profusely, shaking out of control, unable to speak. My heart felt like it was going to pound out my chest and I was sitting on my stairs waiting for Ems when she said, "I can't talk to you like this. Have a nice life." And she walked away. I was seen by Ems, but didn't go to the hospital. She immediately started blowing up my phone, finally picked up. Didn't call to ask me how I was or what Ems said. She called to continue the argument since she needed to defend herself, and prove she was right. I said this isn't behavior from a friend. And she said, "It's what you wanted." I waited at the bus stop. I have cut this person off there playing the victim, claiming I am, making her out to sound like a monster. I said, "If you feel like your behavior makes you sound like a monster, you should rethink the way you treat me." Her, "What about all the nice things I do for you? Is this abuse or am I mentally ill?" So she's a piece of shit. Why are you friends with someone who makes you want to kill yourself? You're not mentally ill, she is, but I suspect you already know that. For your own mental health, this is not someone to keep around. You're definitely being abused. Severely, given that you're talking about killing yourself. I'm sorry to hear it. Get away from this person as fast as you can. She's a manipulator and a gaslighter, and from the sound of it, she's an especially dangerous type. The above said, this is not necessarily an either-or situation. I am not qualified to diagnose, but I've got to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised to hear that you suffered from PTSD at the very least, after suffering like this. Will therapists blame her? Probably, but at least some of this is directly her fault, so they should blame her. You are being abused. You should end this relationship. Go no contact with this person. If you continue to have this person in your life, then I think you have a mental illness. Normal people would not put up with this behavior from a friend. I'd drop this person immediately. That's not a friend. Mother, 53F. Gave me, 19F, a 10 p.m. curfew. So I have to be home before 10 p.m. I'm turning 20 in 2 months. I'm an adult. How can I convince her to be less strict with me? Big mistake was that I told her about my relationship one night and asked if I could stay out overnight. She blew up, telling me off that it was not safe and to not sleep with someone so early in a relationship. I understand because she's only worried about me and wants to know I'm safe. But when I go out she tells me to be home by 10 p.m. One time I told her I'll be 30 minutes late. So when the time hits 10:30 p.m. she's asking why I'm not home yet. I arrived home 10 minutes later to find her sitting in front of the door. She's asking why I'm out so late, and points at a red mark on my skin asking, "What is that?" It was just from sitting cross-legged on the car seat. And once again she reminds me that I have to be home by 10 p.m. My mother has always kinda done everything for me growing up, so I've grown to be pretty dependent on her. She used to be strict with me going out when I was much younger, but throughout high school, there was not much issues. Only thing was that she did not let me talk to any boy at all. I got told off one time because I commented on another guy's post on Facebook, which was about piano. I know she has trauma and regret from her past concerning my father. She got pregnant with her first child at 16 plus. He was a drink addict and abusive. Hence she is super protective over me when it comes to dating and sex. But I know I am being safe and responsible, and I just want to enjoy life. I'm literally turning 20. Too long did not read. Mother too protective because of her past. Gives me 10 p.m. curfew. Seemed too overreactive when I came home late by 40 minutes. What can I do for her to not be so controlling over my dating, sex life? If you want independence you should move out. If you don't want independence but you still want to convince her to be less strict, you're asking the wrong people. Ask your mom. Like this. Mom, what do you need to see from me that would prove to you that I make good choices and can be trusted with more autonomy? Then listen. Really listen to her answer. Because she's going to give you a list of stuff that has probably been in your blind spot for a while. She is never going to be fine with you making your own decisions and being out of her control. If you want to be an adult you have to be an adult. You're 19 and live at home. If you want freedom move out. Otherwise follow the rules of the homeowner. Get a job, save your money and move out. Learn to be independent. Well, you live in her house and for some things are still considered a dependent. If you want to not be under her rules, leave the house. As you said, you're an adult. So be an adult. Leave and live like an adult. Or start paying a decent amount as rent to be an equal adult member of the household. Pick one. Kid that gets free ride but rules, adult with responsibilities but freedom.